Hello and welcome back to the channel. First of all, I'd like to thank you, the viewers who have liked and have subscribed to the videos. I'll keep making the videos if you keep watching them. Today is a really exciting day because it is essentially my unboxing and initial impressions of the brand new FX Panthera or Panthera in sub 12 177 with the 500mm barrel. First of all, I'd like to thank Carl and the rest of the team at Solware. When I went to purchase the Effecto PX5, I asked Carl to let me know when the Pantheras come in, and he let me know yesterday, and there was essentially two 22s and one 177, and he put aside the 177 for me. So thank you very much, Carl. I'll leave a description to Solware I'll leave a link to Solware in the description. I want to get straight to unboxing and talk about what my initial first impressions of this rifle are. But just very firstly, initial first impressions were the box is huge. In fact, it is the biggest box. I can't pan back enough without leaning back and knocking things over here. But I've got a tape measure and I'll just quickly show you. Start at one end, get to the other, and it's about 52 inches long. It's the longest case ever. And then when you open it, you're like, wow, look at the rifle. And then you're like, is it that long? No, because obviously you're going to get the 500mm barrel in sub 12. If you are getting FAC, you have a choice of the 600 or the 700, and it goes all the way. The other thing I noticed, just very quickly whilst I was in the store, before I show you the book, is about the case. The cutout for the scope. If this is designed for distance, which I've seen at FAC level or high-powered level, this can do some serious distance. And also, I just wanted to say a shout-out to Giles and Airgun 101, because his video actually swayed me into getting this today, because I saw him doing something I've never seen before, a sub 12 rifle do essentially knocking down tin cans and hitting targets with some decent groups at over 100 yards. So I was like, wow. So sorry, I'm digressing for a minute, but I was there thinking 100 yards, great, you need a decent scope. I'm going to put the same scope that was on my Effecto, which is a Hawk 10 to 50 by 60. I'll put that on here, but look at the cutout. It's not big enough. And then I thought, okay, I'll put a recently purchased a King Cobra from Rob Edwards on the MeWe, so thanks, Rob. I'll put that in here, and that'll fit, but not with the sunshade. So unfortunately, this really nice laser cut section for a scope, if you want to use this case for a longer scope, you're gonna have to cut this out over here like that. And be mindful that just to confirm that if you're putting on a decent scope, you're gonna have to cut this section out anyway. And if you're putting a sunshade on, depending on the size of the scope, I measured my Hawk with the sunshade, and it came in just about here, starting here, and it came in just about here. So this whole section would have to be cut off, and it was almost reaching the bridge of the rifle. So just a little moan about the case. If you're going to make a long distance, a gun for essentially long distance shooting, why don't you provide a case which allows you to have a nice big scope on here? But anyway, complaint aside, also worth mentioning, when I got this out in the store, I'll get the rifle out in a minute and give you some initial impressions, but I was like, what's in this bag? It's a filler probe, where's the mag? And we searched for the mag, and turns out FX haven't sent the 177 mags out to Sportsman, and they're the distributor, and essentially they've received them, I think today, and they'll be sending them out hopefully tomorrow. So I'm going to have to wait for the magazine to arrive, and I can't use my standard Crown magazine because of the lid. It's essentially the same magazine, but the lid is bigger because this is wider this section over here. Oh well, but let's talk about the rifle. So first of all, just have a quick look at the manual, as I always do. So straight off, goes into specifics and all the detail. Nice welcome page, all colour. Yeah, I'll tell you now, this is the first time I've actually seen this. Cocking the rifle, handling it, gear up. There is 20 MOA on the scope, on the Picatinny rail. Pressurizing, again, there's a ton of videos already out there on this, but you can essentially change the filler port from the back to the front if you want. Pressurizing goes up to 250 bar max. The magazine, there you go. I've seen on Giles's video, Airgun 101 today, he showed a video, it had 2 O-rings on it. How to use, and then let's just quickly keep going. Hamstring adjustment, pressure tank. Wow, so there's a lot of adjustability here. I like the way as well, when you shoot this rifle, you see it, the dials move on the regulator, and you slowly see that, and that's within your eye shot. So that's really nice. That's really nice. Also, I'm keen to get a hold of the FX chronograph screen and pop that on the back as well, just for added gizmos. So you can decrease the reg pressure. There's the trigger, cheek piece. You can adjust the cocking lever from left to right. This is a truly ambidextrous rifle in the fact that you can adjust the cheek rest and also the cocking lever from left to right or right to left, depending on which way you shoot. There's a bag rider mount available as an accessory. It'd be interesting to see that. And that's it. So those are the instructions. So let's just pop those down. And let's just have a look at the rifle now. So, initial impressions of the rifle. Oh, wow. Let's just put this down for a moment. Pop the case down on the floor. Give us some space to look at the rifle. Okay, so what do I think? My initial impressions are, I was wow. I know it seems a bit daft, but I've seen so many videos of this thing and seen how well it performs at distance, and I was really skeptical about this in sub 12. I was seriously umming and ahhing about getting this, and I spoke to so many different people over the last few days on forums and friends of mine that I know, and asking them questions on whether or not it's even worth it. But then, as I mentioned, I saw Giles's Airgun 101 video, him shooting over 100 yard groups and tin cans. That was it. That was the seal the deal, so to speak, because I thought, you know what, this is the state of the art, latest tech in terms of, okay, the plenum on this surrounds the front of the barrel, and it's only small, but it's still essentially one rigid block over here, and then you've got your plenum over here. On the high-powered versions, it runs along the entirety of the barrel up to the bridge, where then you've got the shroud. But yeah, I'll tell you now, I picked this thing up and I shouldered it, and I thought, this is gorgeous. No word of a lie, it is absolutely gorgeous. It felt awkward, first of all, holding a vertical grip. I'm used to slanted grips, but this, literally after a few seconds, just felt beautiful to hold. It's got a really nice palm swell over here, so it was very welcoming. And then cocking this, it was, again, it was just such a joy to cock and fire. The trigger, I have to say to you, I loved the trigger on this thing. Straight out the box, it was amazing. I noticed that this was stiff here. Look, it needs a bit of weight there. There's, again, it stops here, goes all the way back to there, and then it stops there, and then bring it forward, stops here, and then push it home. And it's got a very defined push there for the final stage. And then to fire it, it's got a very pronounced first stage, which again feels very firm, and then a nice defined second stage. When I dry fired it in the store, it did sound a little bit loud, and then we put a Viroc XLK silencer on there, or was it an XL? I can't remember. But it was a Viroc silencer, and it really took the bite out of the bark, so to speak. But I've got a couple of silencers waiting in the wing to use with this, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm also wanting to see now what scope options I've got with this. So, do I ditch the case or cut the case out and put 10-50 by 60 on here? I've just got to be mindful that big scope, it'll run along the entirety of here up to about here. If I put a sunshade on it, it's going to go all the way to here. I don't want that. I would like it to be shorter. Ideally, a shorter scope would be great. Also, it wouldn't affect the balancing on the rifle too much. But I like my powerful scopes, so that's something I'm going to have to play with and see. The other thing I was disappointed with was this. I wish there was a Picatinny rail on here. Now, I've heard that there is going to be a Picatinny adapter which you have to pay for, or you can use M-Lock. I know that Neil from Rack and Load used an M-Lock over here, and he put the GRS bipod on that. So you could get, again, do some research, but get something decent from somewhere like Amazon, for example. Believe it or not, Amazon, you can get some decent M-Lock Picatinny mounts, but just be mindful of getting something which is anodized and the mounts are true M-Lock. But I might hang on and wait for the actual adapter that's supposed to come out with this. But in the meantime, this is all essentially Arca over here, and I have got an Arca tripod, so I'll use that for the time being, which is fine. I know I'm not doing the usual start from the back, but I'm just kind of all over the show. I mean, I'm just kind of gushing over this. I can't believe it's here. Also, just whilst I'm here, I love this adjustability at the back. So just by turning these very simply, you've got this. Can you hear that as well? And I don't know, not many of the videos have picked up on this, but there are measurements on these metal parts over here. So you can measure exactly the distance over here, which is nice. And there's some nice tilt. And just worth noting as well, with an Allen key, this thing slides up and down by just doing the Allen key over here. There we go, get it on camera. But it doesn't move left to right. Would have been nice. Again, I saw as well that this has, you can raise this. There you go. It would have been nice to see measurements on here. And there's about two centimeters worth of rise over here. I'll just put that down for now. But the main selling point here is that by taking these nuts out over here and flipping this plate over to the other side, you can move this cheek piece from the left-hand side to the right. So if you're a left-hand shooter, you can shoot over here. And again, you can adjust this cocking bolt over here by turning this over. Let's have a look at this side over here now. By taking this plate out over here, and you can put the cocking bolt over here. I mean, this side as well, look at that. It's almost borderline being in some kind of cockpit. or you're manning some station because of those dials constantly staring at you. And also when you shoot, you can see them. One thing worth noting, this one in the UK came at 75 bar reg, and I got mine filled. It was already just under 200 bar. This goes up to 250. I won't fill it to 250. I'll probably take it to about 240 max. I'm also just going to see what it shoots like out the box with the settings as is before doing any fine adjustments over here. One thing I'm mindful of is cleaning the barrel. I always clean my barrels first before shooting them. So that's something I'm going to have to do. I just want to be careful with this. Again, I'm mindful as well that there's a plenum over here using either a pull-through or pellet cleaning. I'll have to see which option is the best one over here. What else should I talk about whilst I'm initial impressions? Bottle and holding the grip. It does get in the way slightly when you first hold it. So can you see? I'm holding it over here and it's catching on my wrist. So just be mindful of that. Also, you wouldn't be able to put a larger bottle here, but you could potentially put an adapter here and put two smaller bottles and take two bottles over here, and you can take this barricade off and put a bottle over here too. But to be fair, to do that, I think you have to take off this entire front section as well so that the bottle fits here. So that's something to be mindful of. But I've seen that on the internet too. Some people have done that on YouTube. But so far, I'm excited. I'm not going to lie. I am excited. I'm excited to see what this rifle can do. It is literally brand new, state-of-the-art. And again, I've only seen one video in the UK of 1177. And I saw what that can do. So that was an instant wow. I can't wait to see what this can do now. But this is my initial first impressions from unboxing the brand new FX Panthera in 177 sub 12 UK version with the 500mm barrel. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit like and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned. I've got, again, follow-up videos with this and some exciting new videos as well with some new rifles coming up very, very soon. But in the meantime, take care and I will see you all very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.